sure everything's working.
Good morning and welcome to WellSprings. My name is Julie and I want to wish everyone a happy new year. It's so great to see so many folks here the day after we counted down the end of 2022. We've got some special songs for you today. This is our service where we sing songs in remembrance of artists that we've lost during the past year. So we've actually have a pretty full jam-packed list of songs, which we even had to narrow down. So please rise, whether in body or in spirit. We're going to start off with Everywhere.
Happening to me. My friends say I'm acting peculiarly. Come along, baby, we better make a start. You better make it soon before you break my heart. I wanna be with you everywhere. Wanna be with you everywhere. Wanna be with you everywhere. Can you hear me calling out your name? You know that I'm falling and I don't know what to say. Come along, baby, we better make a start. You better make it soon before you break my heart. I wanna be with you everywhere. I wanna be with you everywhere. Wanna be with you everywhere. Wanna be with you everywhere. Wanna be with you everywhere.
You may have recognized that song from a car commercial.
If Tech could put up the monitors just a little bit, that'd be great.
Our next song, I'm going to slow down. Love Can Build a Bridge.
I'd gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hopes are sinking, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart could understand. The love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize that it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? When we stand together, oh, it's our finest hour. We can do anything, anything. Keep believing in the power. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Oh, yes I do. Love can build a bridge. Oh, love and only love. Between your heart and mine. Between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Please rise, whether in body or in spirit, and join us if you know this one. Flash dance, what a feeling. Woo. Feel free to dance, too.
First, when there's nothing but a slow glowing dream that your fear seems to hide deep inside your mind. All alone I have cried silent tears full of pride in a world made of steel, made of stone. Well, I hear the music, close my eyes, feel the rhythm, wrap around, take a hold of my heart. What a feeling, means believing. I can have it all now. I'm dancing for my life. Take your passion and make it happen. Pictures come alive. Now you dance right through your Now I hear the music, close my eyes, I am rhythm. In a flash it takes hold of my heart. What a feeling, means believing. I can have it all now. I'm dancing
I just went over to Ethan and said, I think your mom's having fun on this song. Welcome, everyone, to WellSprings. Thank you for being here on New Year's Day in the morning. My name is Reverend Lee Paxula. My pronouns are she and her, and I am blessed to be serving as your worship leader this morning. Every Sunday when we gather, we begin our service by lighting a chalice. The chalice is a symbol of our spiritual heritage together as Unitarian Universalists. But it's not only a symbol of heritage or what is past. It also reminds us of what is here right now, the inner life that we carry in us always. We've asked Brad and Terry if they would come forward and light our chalice this morning, and as soon as they've done so, we will say the words on the screen together. And together we say, we light our chalice to celebrate the path before us, the warmth of kindness that shines from within us, and the radiance of wisdom that is shared between us and never goes out. Thank you both. Good morning. Good morning. Happy New Year. Our mission here at WellSprings is to be a community charged full with the charge of the soul. One of the things that I like to remember about that mission, about that phrase, that piece of poetry that we borrowed, actually from Walt Whitman's poem, I Sing the Body Electric, for our mission statement. The thing I like to remember is that our mission is to be a community charged full with the charge of the soul, which doesn't mean that we have to carry it all. Think about how your phone charges, right? What does it have to do to charge? It plugs in, it connects. It's one of the few things your phone still needs a little wire for sometimes, right? Though now they have those charging pads. But still, that's connection, right? It has to touch something. So sometimes feeling charged full with the charge of the soul, I hear it from our worship leaders when they think about, what am I going to say this week? It's like, well, what has filled me up? What's been good this week? Where am I bringing that charge? And some days we don't feel that. Some days we need to be refilled from someone else, from someplace else. I saw something shared this week. Actually, Deb shared it on her Facebook page, Deb on our spiritual development ministry, who's here. So I'm giving her credit. It said, the best New Year's resolution I ever made was to start devouring all my nicest things and save no small pleasure for an unspecified future. Now I burn the good candles. I wear the expensive perfume at home. I scribble imperfectly in pretty notebooks. I love this last line. You can't pin joy like a moth. You can't pin joy like a moth. You can't pin joy like something that can't fly, that can't move, that is no longer alive. It comes and it goes. So today, may we remember that this year, this place will always be here for you to recharge. These people, some of whom you might know, some of whom you may have never met, would love to connect with you. We might do it imperfectly and awkwardly at times. We might forget our perfume at home or not know the exact right words to say. But it's what we come here to do. And I wish that for you. I wish that you will use all the nice things and not wait for some future day. Because every day and every year that we are here is not promised and is a gift. Amen. So this morning, I'd like to especially welcome any newcomers to our service. If this is your first or second or third time here, welcome. We're so glad that you're with us. I hope that you will take a moment, if you'd like to get to know us a little bit better, to fill out a connection card. Our connection cards are entirely virtual right now. We're very earth-friendly these days. So there is a link to an online connection card if you're watching from home below me in the video description. And if you're here in person, there is a QR code on our welcome table in the back that will take you to our WellSprings app where you can read a lot about us, or just to our order of service for today. Both of those links can take you also to our connection card. We have a few pieces of news, a few announcements that we want to highlight this weekend. And so for that, I'm going to turn it over to our Membership and Communications Coordinator, Jessica Heichel. Jessica?
Happy New Year, WellSprings. My name is Jessica Heichel, and I have 3 announcements for you this week. Up first, the deadline to register for our Showing Up Against Racism Springboard has been extended to this Friday. There's a link in today's order of service where you can find out more information about this springboard, but more to the point, there's also a questionnaire that needs to be filled out for anyone interested. You are now able to do that up through Friday. So if you're interested, be sure to click that link. Even if you're going to access it later, just make sure you have it up so that you don't forget to send in that questionnaire. Second announcement, coming up on January 12th, there's a one-time Soul Bite small group that's happening entirely on Zoom, which is Reflections on a Trip to the Holy Land. There's more information about that also linked in today's order of service, so be sure to check that out. Third announcement, earlier this week, Reverend Lee sent out a letter, and that letter is linked in today's order of service. It's an end-of-year letter going over many of the things that WellSprings has accomplished and weathered this year, so be sure to check that out when you have a moment. And that's everything. Thanks, everyone. Happy 2023, and I will see you next week.
One other thing to mention is that all of our Christmas Eve decorations are still up, as you might have noticed. We're going to be taking them down after the service, but that also means that if you didn't get a chance to visit our photo booth in that back corner, you can't see it from where you're sitting, but there's a vintage black and white It's a Wonderful Life themed photo booth. Feel free to take some pictures there before you leave today if you'd like. At WellSprings, the foundation of everything we do is rooted in the power of connection. We make space in our hearts and in our lives for each other. And so in that spirit, this is the part of our service where we honor the connection by greeting one another. If you are joining from home, you can sign in. You just need a Google or a YouTube account to our live chat and say hello. You can also say hello in the WellSprings Oasis Facebook group. And if you're here, you can open up your phone and do the same thing and connect with folks who are joining us online. For all of you here in Bell Hall, please make sure that you ask before hugging or approaching closely, as some of us are still more comfortable with elbow bumps or fist bumps these days. And if you prefer to keep distance from others for any reason, just stay seated, and that'll be our cue to give you a friendly wave. With gratitude for all the ways that we might connect, please greet one another now. Generosity music today? Yes. And you're all invited to continue these conversations after the service during our coffee hour. It's actually a pretty nice day. You can head outside, but you can grab coffee over there at the table indoors. I lost my place. There we are. I want to invite you now into the next part of our service, which is our time of generosity. This is an opportunity for all of us to express our gratitude for the ways that this community of people around us and beyond us has had an impact on all of our lives. I want to give a special update this morning because I know some of you have been following along. In the beginning of November, our Board of Trustees put out a special request to WellSpringers to ask for donations to help us with a deficit that we were expecting this year. As a lot of organizations did, we were able to benefit from COVID relief money during 2020 and 2021. That money doesn't come in anymore, and it's not going to. We hope, I guess, right? Because we hope there's no more giant crises. So we asked if there was anything that any of us were able to do to either provide a one-time gift for this year or to increase your regular giving. And we've been really blessed and pleased and grateful for all of the people that have stepped up. So far, 33 households have responded and helped us raise just about $27,000. So that's amazing. Thank you. You will see that the projected budget deficit number, though, is $45,000. And I'm not sure that we'll get all of that covered, and that's okay, right? We made progress, and we got more support than we would have otherwise had we not asked. So I'm grateful to our board for sharing our situation with the congregation and being transparent and open with all of you. And you know what? If you want to write a check today that's dated December 31st, I'm not going to tell anybody, right? So if you still have not responded to that request, please feel free to. We are grateful for everything that you give. And we will do our more traditional offering now and pass the hats. If you feel the value of our WellSprings community these days, we hope that you'll share a gift to help sustain us. You can always text WSprings to 73256 to give from anywhere. And if you're here in the room, our greeters will be bringing the hats around by hand. Thank you for all the ways that all of you support our community. Our offering will now be gratefully received. Having shared energy between us now and giving beyond us, let's take this moment to be still, to reground into that deep energy that we can always find within ourselves. We do this here every week by doing something you are already doing, by doing the most simple and basic thing that we do every moment of our lives. We simply take a breath, noticing that we are breathing maybe for the first time today. We inhale and we exhale, not in any special kind of way, not in any rush, not with any hurry, just recognizing the gift of breathing in and breathing out. You might have things on your to-do list today that you have carried in with you. You might have people you are thinking about how you need to call them back, but you're not going to do any of that right now. This is the rare moment in life when you decide to simply be here. There's nowhere else that you need to go right now and nowhere else to be. So let's practice being here together as we prepare for our time of mindful silence. We follow these words from the Buddhist meditation teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, into our time of meditation. If we want to enter heaven on earth, we need only one conscious step and one conscious breath. May we cultivate peace and experience presence in this quiet moment together. wherever you are, whatever you might be doing, however you might be feeling, may you always remember that peace and presence can be as close to you as your own breath. I wish that this will be so for you in this moment, on this day, in this year, and on all the days to come. May it be so for all of us. Well, now is the time that we invite the children and the youth of our congregation to join today. Eric and Jaden in the back. They will head off for their time of fellowship and youth spirit. They might be outside today because it's so nice, but if they're not outside, they'll be in the dining hall over there. So parents, family members, please don't forget to pick up your children before the end of the service. Jaden and Eric are much too young to become parents all of a sudden, so please pick them up after the service. And I'm also going to invite our band back on stage, or maybe just Melissa. This is our New Year's service. If you didn't catch that in the beginning, this is our tradition at WellSprings where we honor musicians who have passed away in the previous year. And so our band, when nobody's busy, right at the end of the year around all the holidays, when they also have an extra Christmas Eve service to prepare for, they decide to learn a bunch of new songs. And they love it so much, and this year could not decide between all of the different artists that they wanted to honor. So we actually have 7 songs for you today. So instead of our normal one song right now, you're going to hear 3 songs from Melissa and Rodney, I think all of them. Great. And there's one other special surprise. Beth is going to do a short message after all of this music where she leads you all through a ritual for the new year. And there is a prop that you will need for this ritual. It's in this suitcase. It is another tiny suitcase. And we should have plenty here. So I'm actually going to invite you, as Melissa and Rodney get ready, stand on up, come up during this song, and grab a suitcase. Certainly grab it, though, before these 3 songs are over. And I thought this would stay up, but it won't. There you go. Come on up. Don't be shy. I'm taking mine. All right.
As you're getting them. So, as Lee said, we did lose a lot of really great artists this year. And this one, for me, probably hit the hardest. I was a huge Meatloaf fan. I knew every single word to every song on Bad Outta Hell. And when this particular song came out in the 90s, when I was in high school, I had the single. And again, I knew every word. I would watch the video and repeat. So, as sad as I am that we've lost one of my favorite artists, I'm really excited that we get to sing that song. It is like communion. Yeah. Rock and roll communion. And I would do anything for love. I'd run right into hell and back. I would do anything for love. I'll never lie to you, and that's a fact. But I'll never forget the way you feel right now. Oh no. No way. I would do anything for love. I would do anything for love. I would do anything for love. But I won't do that. No, I won't do that. And
And some days I pray for silence, and some days I pray for soul. Some days I just pray to the God of sex and drums and rock and roll. And some nights I lose the feeling, and some nights I lose control. Some nights I just lose it all when I watch you dance and the thunder rolls. Well, maybe I'm lonely, that's all I'm qualified to be. There's just one and only promise I can keep. As long as the wheels are turning, as long as the fires are burning, as long as your prayers are coming through, you better believe it, that I would do anything for love. And you know it's true, and that's a fact. I would do anything for love. Never be no turning back. But I'll never do it better than I do it with you. Oh no, so long.
And I would do anything for love. I would do anything for love. I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. No, I won't do.
Will you raise me up? Would you help me down? Will you get me right out of this God-forsaken town? Will you make it all a little less cold?
Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do.
Will you cater to every fantasy I got? Will you hose me down with holy water if I get too hot? Will you take me places I've never known?
Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that.
After a while you'll forget everything was a brief interlude and a midsummer night's fling, and you'll see that it's time to move on.
No, I won't do that. No, I won't do.
I know the territory I've been around. It'll all turn to dust and we'll all fall down. Sooner or later you'll be screwing around.
No, I won't do that. No, I won't do anything for love. I would do anything for love. I would do anything for love,
But I
I
won't
won't
do
do
that. No, I won't do that.
Well, that was fun. Now for something completely different. This was another big loss this year. One of the queens of country.
Well, I was born a coal miner's daughter in a cabin on a hill in Butcher Holler. We were poor, but we had love. That's the one thing that Daddy made sure of. He shoveled coal to make a poor man's dollar. My daddy worked all night in the Van Leer coal mine, all day long in a field of hoeing corn. Mama rocked the babies at night and read the Bible by the coal oil lights. mourn. Well, Daddy raised 8 kids on a miner's pay. Mommy scrubbed our clothes on a washboard every day. I've seen her fingers bleed. To complain, there was no need. She'd smile in Mommy's understanding way. Well, in the summertime, we didn't have shoes to wear. But in the wintertime, we'd all get a brand new pair. From a mail order catalog, money made from selling a hog. Daddy always managed to get the money somewhere. Yeah, I'm proud to be a coal miner's daughter. I remember well the well where I drew water. Well, the work we'd done was hard, and night we'd sleep 'cause we were tired. Never thought of leaving Butcher Holler. Well, a lot of things have changed since way back then, and it's so good to be back home again. Not much left here but the floor. Nothing lives here anymore except the memory of a coal miner's daughter. Except the memory of a coal miner's daughter.
One more. You shake my nerves and you ride on my brain. Too much of love drives a man insane. You broke my will, oh what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I laughed at love 'cause I thought it was funny. You came along and you moved me, honey. You changed my mind, oh what I find. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Kiss me baby, woo, feels good. Love me baby, I wanna love you like a lover should. You're mine, so kind. I wanna tell the world that you're mine, mine, mine. I shake my heels and I battle my thumbs. A little loving makes joyous fun. Come on, baby, drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Woo! Kiss me, baby. Woo, feels good. Love me, baby. I wanna love you like a lover should. You're mine, so fine. Tell the world that you're mine, mine, mine. I chew my fingers and the nails and thumbs. I'm nervous, baby, but it sure feels fun. Come on, baby, you drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Oh, that was fabulous. All of it. And I have to say, was not expecting to cry, but Coal Miner's Daughter, which is one of my favorite songs since I was a kid. I said to Jessica, we had it on 8-track and on a 45, and we knew every word. And one of my cousins, her middle name was Loretta. My papa got to name her after Loretta Lynn. So thank you. Whew. Good morning. Happy New Year. We can never, thank you. I was going to say, we can never say it enough. How many folks made a New Year's resolution? Anybody in here? That's like, I'm like, good, service done. Ah, warms my heart. No resolutions, that's awesome. That will tie in later. How many of you, though, have something special you either ate last night, you're going to eat today? Being a Southerner, we did always actually cook black-eyed peas. Hoppin' John, yeah. Pork is a good one, yeah. Champagne, some bubbles for bubbling up some joy. I love the different food traditions from around the world and different parts of our own country. You know, in Japan, one of the traditions for New Year's Day is to be sure that you eat long noodles. So you would make a pot of soup or some ramen that has the longest noodles possible, and don't break them, because that represents the prosperity of the new year. And in Spain, on New Year's Eve, at the stroke of midnight, everybody eats 12 grapes as fast as they can to represent, again, prosperity for the 12 months that are coming. That's a tradition I actually got to participate in, oh my Lord, on New Year's Eve day, 1996, which seems impossible. I love that. And there are traditions that don't have anything to do with food, right? And some of my favorites that I've known about for years are that New Year's Day in Scotland, how many of you know this, is called Hogmanay. And a tradition dating back probably 14 or 1500 years in Scotland is that if you are greeted at your threshold at midnight by a dark-haired stranger or a dark-haired friend, that bodes well for the new year. And if you think about the fact that Scotland used to get invaded by the blonde-haired Vikings all the time, it sort of makes sense why they would be like, you want a dark-haired person to have a good new year. In Ireland, where some of my ancestors are from, one of the traditions some folks there have on New Year's Eve at midnight is to leave the doors open. You open your doors because you let in all the ill will from the past year, and you invite in all the goodwill for the year to come. And I love all of those, but I did find out about a tradition in the country of Colombia. Just this week, I learned this. And one of the things that some folks in Colombia do on New Year's Day is to carry an empty suitcase around the block. And it's specifically an empty suitcase because they are making space for all the adventures and goodness that they want in the new year. And isn't that lovely? To think about not what am I going to do or what resolution will I make, but what will I make space for in this new year? And it is such a contrast a little bit to us in America, where we literally are just trying to not make space, but pack everything we can into the new year to leave all the old stuff behind and be the best, better version of ourselves. Our resolutions are so often about that. And there seems to be, although I'm so surprised actually that nobody in here made a resolution per se, there is this ever-present thing in America. We're like, what was your New Year's resolutions? And people share them. And I had a college professor who always made New Year's resolutions, but never actually on New Year's Day. He always made New Year's resolutions on his birthday because he said that's when his year began. And I was really struck by that idea that each of us actually do have our own personal New Year's. We have our birthdays and the anniversaries of special moments that really mark our journeys around the sun. And one of the reasons I loved working in education for so long was that we got the chance to celebrate two New Years every year. This day, of course, the changing of the calendar year, and every fall there would be the start of a new school year, and people would come in with high hopes and fresh eyes and all this renewed energy. And while folks don't necessarily talk about making resolutions at a school year, that was really what it felt like. And again, so often, even at the beginning of a school year, it was so much resolve about, I'm going to be better this year. All those old habits are going to go away. I'm going to be the absolute best. And that is our cultural pressure with our resolutions. Let us always do continual improvement. And it is no wonder, I think, that the weight of those personal and collective expectations weigh us down and get left behind before January even ends. I did read a statistic that said for folks who do make resolutions, only about 8% of them are still active on February 1st. And I don't know where they came up with those numbers, but it makes sense when the weight is sometimes too heavy. But lest you think I'm picking on us as Americans, people around the world do make New Year's resolutions. It is a pretty common thing, no matter when we mark the year, to say something new is starting. But we in the modern world did not actually invent New Year's resolutions. Did you know that we think the ancient Babylonians actually invented them? They left us the first recorded records of New Year's celebrations. 4,000 years ago, the Babylonians were marking their new year with 12 days of celebrating and sacrificing to their gods, recommitting to their kings, and making promises, resolutions, if you will, to each other. And their resolutions that we have in the written record were that they were going to pay off debts and return borrowed farm equipment. That is actually what the records tell us. And people around the world have, in some way or another, been making promises to themselves and to each other ever since. And we've marked the new year at different points, not always on this day in midwinter. The ancient Egyptians always began their new year actually with the annual flooding of the Nile. That's when their new year started. And those ancient Babylonians, their new year happened at the spring equinox when spring planting also took place. But some cultures have actually marked the new year at the harvest instead of the planting. And they've used the calendar of the solar system, of our marks around the sun, and used the equinox or the solstices to say, here, we've made a full journey, and now we're starting a new one. Some calendars, though, that mark the new year follow a lunar cycle. Many religious calendars do this. If you're not familiar, both our Jewish and Muslim siblings use a lunar calendar for their religious New Years. And so Rosh Hashanah and Ramadan both follow the lunar calendar and are the time when our siblings in those faiths center down, reflect on what has happened in the past year, again, recommit to God and Spirit, and make promises for the year to come. And even the Christian liturgical calendar, while it's not following a lunar year, doesn't actually begin or end in January. The liturgical calendar in Christianity begins and ends with Advent, which we are still in the middle of. And I think about the ways we as humans throughout history and in various ways have actually acknowledged the fact that time is limited and oh so precious, and that we do need to actually honor its passing. And we have created celebrations and rituals and reflections and, yes, intentions to do that. It's partly why the Romans named this month that we call January, Januarius, after their god, Janus, who was a two-faced god who could look both forward and back, and therefore hold the tension of both the past and the future in the present body. And I think that's the heart of New Year, isn't it? For so many of us, no matter when, where, and how we mark it, part of what we are doing is looking back and looking forward. And if we are wise, taking a moment to pause and say, where are we now? A good New Year's promise isn't we're going to make everything about ourselves different or better, but that we will reflect on who we are and what we are carrying. On this New Year's, I think about traditions across the world and the new beginnings and resolutions that any of us might be carrying. And I think about how we might be able to pledge to commit to kindness and rest. I think about how we might carry an empty suitcase like our neighbors in Colombia. And so I'm asking us to reflect on what we are carrying this year. I am asking myself, what am I carrying that holds me back, not from being my best self, but being my whole self? Are we starting this new year with heavy expectations of failure before the year has even started? Are we starting the new year with a sense of inadequacy and with a voice telling us a story that we are not enough? I've started many New Years with that kind of story. But this year, in this community, as I am on the threshold of a new ministry, what I am hoping is to pack light, to carry an empty suitcase that has room for hope and gentleness and rest and connection. One of the things I find most striking about the resolutions that we have from ancient Babylon isn't that they were not about individual self-improvement. Those ancient records of those New Year's resolutions actually are all about community. I will pay my debts and return what I've borrowed. Those are promises to be in accountable, healthy relationships. And what if what we carry into the new year is the same kind of promise, that maybe we need to focus on individual growth, but that we will do that in the service of each other, that we will grow together, that we will make space to say, I am enough, and in relationship with you, we can be stronger and fuller. At WellSprings, our DNA is all about how we are a charged, full community, which means that we come together in spiritual practice to help each other resist that human tendency to fill up our God-shaped holes by acquiring more and doing more and somehow earning love. No, we come together in this community to assure us that we are already loved and already enough, to say, you don't have to pack more, beloveds. You can let go of those heavy expectations and carry instead more room for love. Are we packing light, WellSprings? Are we going into this new year with time to reflect, to make room for love? I want us to think about that and to take a moment here to do a little ritual together with our suitcases. These are not fully empty suitcases. And in a moment, I'm going to invite you to open them. And for anyone who is joining us online, you can metaphorically open a suitcase. And inside, you'll find a piece of paper. And what I want you to do is just open it either a quarter or a halfway so that you have a blank side. And then I want you to take a pen, and we have some in the back, and write down what you want to carry into the new year. What do you want to make space for? And if you don't want to write it, that's okay too. If you need to think about it and hold that promise to yourself in your heart, what are you making space for? And don't open it all the way yet. keep it on a blank side, and ask yourself, what are you carrying into the new year? What are you making space for? Julie, do you need a pen? I could What are you making space for, WellSprings? I want to let you hold that in your heart, carry it with you, and then in a spirit of prayer, I want to offer a communal blessing. So if you open your paper all the way, and for those who are online, you will find a link to the prayer in today's order of service. This is a New Year's blessing. For those in the room, you'll notice, I hope, that some of the words are bolded. We don't often do responsive readings here, but I'm going to read the most of this blessing to you, but when we get to the bolded parts, I'll ask that if you feel moved, that you say those aloud with me. And so we will bless each other with these words. In this new year, may we leave behind the weight of unfulfilled resolutions, of unrealized dreams, and of unrealistic expectations. May we unpack the heavy weight of stories that tell us we are unworthy and unlovable. May we remember that we carry inside each of us a spark of the divine. In this new year, may we carry kindness, gentleness, and hope that hold us through even the hardest days and the most daunting risks. May we carry the weight of memory that reminds us of who we are, and the weight of spirit that reminds us we are still becoming. May we carry the seed of knowledge that teaches us that improvement and growth aren't linear and individualistic, but are cyclical and communal. May we carry the wisdom to seek rest and connection, to lean into mutual care. May we carry the certain belief that when we have patterns of thinking and behaving that harm ourselves and others, we can seek resources that will help us move towards healing. May we carry the knowledge that happiness and success take many shapes, and one of those shapes is purpose. May we carry purpose lightly, trusting that it changes and evolves and surprises us. May we carry curiosity, wonder, and the ability to be surprised. This year, may we carry space for all of our flaws, all of our longings, and all of our love. Remembering that the truly daring adventure of life is not to be better, best, but to show up wholly, authentically, lovingly as ourselves. May we carry these hopes and carry each other into the new year. Amen, and may it be so. I'm going to invite the band up for our final song this morning.
Please rise, whether in body or in spirit. Join us on times like these, if you know it.
It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these we give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. Whoa. I'm a new day rising. I'm a brand new sky to hang the stars upon tonight.
But I'm a little divided. Do I stay or run away, leave it all behind?
It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you live and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again.
Times like these when you need a friend, you need someone that you can depend. You need to reach out for something that you can hold on to, something you can believe in, something you can believe in.
You make it better together, we make a better life. Because the pressure is everybody's every night. And every day still we pray and we will forever fight. We make it better together, we make a better life.
I'm on a one-way motorway. I'm the one that drives away and follows you back home.
I'm a street light shining. I'm a white light blind and bright, burning off and on.
It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you learn to love again.
And so, sorry. Nope, it's on. There we go. I was like, why isn't it working? And thank you, Julie. So we extinguish this flame, and we know that the spark that is its source shines on in each of us. And we say together, as we release this flame from its faithful service, We allow the spark in each of us to burn on, to warm our compassion, to fire our delight, to light our paths today, tomorrow, and always. I forgot my empty suitcase. But friends, may you carry love with you into all the days of this new year. May it be so. Amen. Let's have a little more music.
It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you learn to love again.